Hey everybody, this video brings us out to Zionsville, Pennsylvania. I love the name of this town, Zionsville. Just sounds like something out of a Superman comic book or something like that. But we're here at the Upper Milford Mennonite Church, which is actually a really awesome looking church. Why is this church awesome looking? Because it reminds me of an old, I'm thinking firehouse. I mean, it's not a firehouse. I don't believe this was ever used as a firehouse. This was always built as a church, but it just looks like an old firehouse to me. And as somebody who grew up playing in an old firehouse that my dad actually used to be the fire chief for, as soon as I pulled up to this church, I thought, wow, this is awesome. Kind of looks like the firehouse I used to play in all the time as a kid. I can only imagine that the inside of this church probably looks pretty awesome. I would love to actually go in here someday. Maybe someday I will go in here. I gotta start going to more services, more church services, so I can go actually inside some of these churches that we visit and check them out. Looks like this one was actually built in 1876. I believe this is maybe the third church from what I'm trying to read on the sort of stone up there. But it looks like this actual church in of itself was built in 1876. Pretty awesome, really. Again, very cool brick church. I really like this. I love all different styles of churches. This one here, I just love, again, the interesting sort of firehouse, 1800s firehouse look it has going on. Very awesome church. But we're not actually out here to see the church. That's not the reason why we're out here today. We're out here to take a look at the cemetery that sits in back. Not a very old cemetery. This is not a cemetery where you're going to find really old headstones and very old graves and stuff like that, at least from what I'm seeing. I've actually never been to this cemetery before, so I could be wrong about that, but all these headstones look to be fairly new. This does not look like a very old cemetery. In fact, the old cemeteries, I believe, are down the road, or we might actually have to go and check those out at some point, because as I was driving down here, I saw two other churches that looked older than this church, and those cemeteries definitely had some very old tombstones in them, some very old gravestones. So at some point, we may actually come back out to this area. Look at the churches down the road. For your safety, please, no skateboarding, rollerblading, icicling on church property. Thank you, UMMC. That's a shame. We used to come out to churches all the time and skateboard when I was a kid. Churches had great parking lots, and they were only ever really used on a Sunday. So any other day of the week you wanted to come out and do some skateboarding, we always used to do it in church parking lots. My friend used to actually live right next to a church parking lot. We used to skate and bike in that parking lot all the time. Probably we're not supposed to. I'm sure they were not happy with us. That cemetery down there, see, there's a little cemetery down there. We're not going to take a look at that cemetery either, but down there, there's another little cemetery. That cemetery actually looks older. This kind of makes sense. That might actually be the older portion of the cemetery to this church. That would be my guess. I'm going to assume that cemetery belongs to this church here. I can definitely see some very old tombstones down there. Pretty awesome. But again, we're not here to look at those tombstones. We're here to look at a tombstone that's not super crazy old. There's a bench there. You can come out here and have a picnic. If you have a family member who's buried here, maybe you and your family can come out, have a picnic, and enjoy your time visiting your family. But anyway, I want to show you guys something pretty awesome that sits inside this cemetery right here. As a collector, as somebody who collects movies, who collects Figment merchandise, who collects Spice Girl merchandise. Yes, I collect that kind of stuff. As somebody who's always been a collector, it's not even that I collect that stuff. It's the fact that I've always been a collector. Even when I was a little kid, I collected stuff. I collected stones. I collected different toys. I collected all kinds of stuff. I always had some kind of collection growing up in my life. I was always big into collecting. I always have been, probably always will be. I think it's definitely a mental thing where just some people love collecting stuff, and it's just something that's always been inside me. And I'm sure it's something that's been inside many of you guys. I'm a big fan of collecting, and I'm a big fan of collections. I don't care what the collection is. I might collect mostly, my biggest collection is movies. I collect physical movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, things like that. That's my passion. That's my hobby. That's the collection. That's the thing I love collecting. I've collected it for decades now. I love collecting physical movies, physical media. But I don't care what you collect. I don't care if it's Pez dispensers, which I also used to collect back in the day. I don't care if it's salt and pepper shakers. I don't care if it's little miniature elephants, or I don't care what it is you collect. I'm fascinated. Anytime I go to somebody's house and they're like, hey, here's my collection, I don't care what it is. I will spend hours looking at it because I'm just fascinated by what people collect. And I love the idea of people collecting stuff and curating their collection and cataloging their collection and displaying their collection. It's pretty awesome, pretty cool. And I want to show you guys something that relates to collecting inside this cemetery. Look at this. This is the Will Trout tombstone. It's not what we're here to see, but I love I don't know what that is. The lime, no, not limestone, not granite, marble. Marble's what I'm looking for, the marble. Look at that. It kind of looks like I don't know, like leopard print, or not leopard print, tiger print. That's what I'm looking for, tiger print. All right, so I think I do see the headstone we're here to take a look at. Then we'll look at a couple other ones, because this one here actually has a baseball. Look at that. Paul F. Jr. must have been a big fan of baseball. Passed away in 2020. I wonder from maybe COVID? Every time I say 2020, I just assume COVID. I have no idea. Look at that, a baseball right there. It's always interesting to come out to a cemetery and see what family members have actually left behind. So I guess some of the headstones here are somewhat old. 1925. When it comes to graveyards that I've taken you guys out to, 1925 is actually kind of newer. We've been to ones that have 1700s graves, but these do look a bit older here, which is pretty interesting. And this one over here, well, actually some of these, I gotta show you, this one here is fresh. We'll stay away from this one. This one doesn't even have a headstone yet, because clearly somebody had just recently been buried there. There's a name on it, actually. Jeffrey J. Tapler, yeah, October 3rd, 2020. But look at the Tapler here. Look at that, oh my gosh. This is an amazing headstone. I love this. Look at the tractor. That is so cool. As somebody who loves farms and loves farm land, and just, I don't have a farm, never lived on a farm, but I love farms. That is amazing. That is such a cool headstone. Even got a can of Miller Lite out here. Look at that. Somebody left a beer can for him to enjoy. I guess he was a drinker. There's another one right there for William and Marie. They both have a beer they can drink in the afterlife. That is an awesome headstone. Now I kind of want something like that on my headstone. I don't mean not necessarily a tractor, but I don't know, like something interesting. That is really, really cool. This one here is also pretty amazing as well. The Haberly, I'm probably saying that wrong, with the D. See, this is something maybe more of my headstone, just farmland, country land, out in the wild, some deer, some fish, turkeys, birds, and an angel. That is really, really awesome. Again, we haven't even looked at the headstone I want to show you guys yet, but I'm fascinated by all the other headstones. This one has a chicken and a deer on it, or a rooster and a deer. That is so cool. As you can see, there's a much more newer graves. There are some really awesome ones out here. I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting the one I'm going to show you guys, but I was not expecting these. These are really neat. We've got one here from 1925. So, okay. Again, not newer, but not super crazy old. All right, so now I'm going to finally show you the actual headstone we came out here to see. Well, actually in a sec, because look at these ones here. These are definitely old. So there are some old ones out here. I can't even read these anymore. I'm thinking maybe these might be the headstones of children, possibly. All right, so again, I'm a big fan of collecting. I'm a big fan of collections. And when I found out about this headstone, I knew I had to come out here and see this. This is the headstone to Reverend Gilbert T. and Lizzie K. I believe it's pronounced, I'm gonna say this right. I'm gonna say this wrong. It's not Gehman, no. How do you say Gehman? I have no idea how you pronounce that. Gehman, maybe? I'm probably saying that last name incorrectly. I probably should know, but I don't. Leave a comment down below if you know. Anyway, so this is the grave of them. But what's really cool is what you're seeing down here, because as you can see, it says his own collection of stones from 26 states of the USA and 10 foreign countries. So when this fella passed away in 1932, they actually, yes, Crow, in 1932, they took the stones from his stone collection. This guy collected all these stones from 26 different states and 10 foreign countries. He had this stone collection, and they put it into his grave. How awesome is that? That is so cool. I love the idea of them taking his collection and actually turning it into his headstone. That is really, really cool. What's really weird though is this here, Lizzie K, wife of E.S. Oler Schultz or whatever that name is there, which leads some questions. And alive forever, clearly not. So anyway, really weird, bizarre headstone. Again, alive forever, kind of strange. And I'm going to assume that Lizzie K probably remarried, thus the wife of ES. I'm guessing. I'm assuming she was married to Gilbert, and then Gilbert passed away in 1923, and then she remarried ES. That would be my assumption, but they probably had the grave site already paid for and taken care of, so this is where she was buried. That's my assumption. Leave some questions. I have no idea. Also really wish I could figure out how to pronounce that name correctly, because I know I'm saying it wrong. Isn't there somebody famous with that last name? I want to see I'm saying it wrong. I think it's Gehman? I think it's Gehman, actually, if I'm not, that's what I think it is. There's somebody famous out there with the last name of Gehman, isn't there? Gehman. That's what it is. Gehman. Gehman. 99.9% sure that's how you actually pronounce the name of that. But how cool is that? With the rocks in his headstone, his collection, his rock collection, something this guy was, this reverend was passionate about. He was passionate about collecting stones, a stone from every state he visited, every state he went to. I'm assuming he would go and pick up a stone from that state, bring it home, and he had a collection. Probably had it like curated, probably had them all labeled so he knew which stone was for what state. And then he went to foreign countries, would also pick up a stone from those countries, and he visited 26 of the states of the United States, and he went to 10 foreign countries and got stones from all of these. That is so amazing. That is so cool. And whoever decided, you know what, we're going to incorporate that into the headstone. Brilliant idea. That is one of the coolest headstones I have ever seen in my entire life. Again, as somebody who's a big fan of collecting, and as somebody who's very passionate about collecting and very, very passionate about other people's collections in general, I think it's so cool that this person will have his collection with him forever. He's buried right here with his collection. I always say I want a mausoleum where someday I could be buried with my movies. They don't have to be nicely stacked up. Just throw them in there. I don't care. Just bury me with my movies, my movie collection. That's what I want to be buried with someday. Maybe, possibly. But how cool is that? All right, guys. Just want to come out here, show you the amazing grave of Reverend Gilbert T. Gehman, right? I believe. And Lizzie K. Gehman, a.k.a. Lizzie K. I don't even want to try to pronounce that. Oberholzer. I think is how you say that. I'm assuming she remarried. There's also a plane flying overhead. But all right, guys, pretty awesome, pretty cool. If you guys collect something, if you're a fan of collecting, again, I don't care what it is, leave a comment down below. What is it you collect? Do you collect movies like I do? Do you collect rocks like the Reverend here collected? Do you collect Pez dispensers? Do you collect toys? Do you collect enamel figures? Do you collect porcelain dolls? I mean, I don't care what do you collect? Do you collect Barbie dolls? I mean, what do you collect? Leave a comment down below. Let me know about you and your collection and what it is. And would you someday maybe like to be buried with your collection, or could it be incorporated into your headstone someday? That'd be really awesome. All right, guys, had to come out here, see this firsthand, see this for myself, because that is so cool. Again, as a huge fan of collecting, I think that is one of the coolest headstones, probably the coolest headstone, actually, the more I think about it, that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's such a standard sort of marble headstone. Like, there's nothing too fancy about it, except for that. I've seen some innate carvings. I've seen some ones with big statues on them, and ones with like ironwork on them. I've seen some really impressive graves, but again, as a collector, this one here impresses me the most. All right, guys, so what do you collect? Leave a comment down below, and do you think this is as awesome as I think it is? I think it's pretty cool. But all right, guys, so with that, we are done. So as always, thank you so much for checking out this video. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check down below for links to Patreon. If you guys do become a patron, I will send you a postcard every single month from the road. I love this grass, by the way. I always love this sort of weird, what do they call this? What's this kind of grass called? This grass that's sort of yellowish, never really grows. You don't have to like mow it too much. Kind of wish I had this grass in my lawn. It's very like pokey though. It's very strawly, but it's still pretty cool grass. I kind of want it. Anyway, so leave a comment down below. about the grass. Anyways, like I said, check down below for links to Patreon. If you guys do become a patron, I will send you a postcard every single month from the road. Also, check down below for a link to Spreadshirt, where you can grab yourself retro rest stop t-shirts. Proceeds, both from Spreadshirt and from Patreon, do good at keeping the show going, supporting this show. So I really do appreciate it, guys. Helps put a little gas in Pumpkin or in Vanabelle so we can come out to places like this. This place is about an hour away from where I live, but I didn't care. I knew I had to drive out here this morning to check this out. Also, it's beautiful out today. I knew I wanted to get back outside because the rain is coming. The cold weather is apparently coming back, supposedly, from what I hear. So I figured come out here today, check this amazing great out. So again, I really do appreciate it. If you guys help support the show, it means a whole lot to me. What do you think was right here? Look at that, there's indents. What do you think that is? Crop circles. That's what it is. It's the aliens. All right, guys. Now I'm losing my mind. I should probably go get something to eat. So anyway, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you guys do hit that subscribe button or you are subscribed, then I will see you in tomorrow's video. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.